Hey everyone, it's Nick at Galleria Podiatry here. I've got Rachel with me today and we're going to talk to you a little bit about flat feet. So two of the most common questions that we get asked in the podiatry clinic is, have I got flat feet? And secondly, how does the flat feet affect my foot and my feet, but also the rest of my body as well? So Rachel's got a pretty classic example of what we call a functional flat foot. So this is where when we're in a neutral position, there's actually a pretty good arch here and everything functions okay. But when she's in her relaxed position, the arch becomes quite low and it becomes a flat foot. So to start off with, what I've done here is create a bisection line down the middle of the leg here. So I've started at the middle of Rachel's knee cap here, and I've extended that line straight down the shin bone, down the middle of the leg, straight through the front of the ankle here, or the subtalar joint as we call it, and then straight through the second toe here. So as Rachel is in this neutral position, this is the position that the foot functions most effectively in, most efficiently in. So in this neutral position, everything is in a nice straight line, as we can see, kneecap, straight down the shin, through the joint, and straight through the second toe here. But if Rachel goes into her relaxed stance position, into this position here, we can see that the arch gets lower, and now we can see that there's this big angle at the subtalar joint here through the ankle joint, creating this angle at the bottom here. So this is what we would call a classic flat foot. It is synonymous with a number of conditions that we see regularly in the podiatry clinic. So the first one of these would be under the arch here. We see a lot of arch pain and heel pain, or plantar fasciitis as we call it. Also around the inside of the ankle here can get really sore as these tendons and muscles further up get overused and stretched and strained. We also need to think about the Achilles tendon at the back of the heel here as well. Can also have a lot of stretch put on it and cause a lot of pain there as well. So as we move further up the body, the first thing that we see is the shins here. So shin splints is a very common condition that we see. Also growing pains in kids. This is the area that most kids will wake up in the middle of the night and they'll have pain at the front of the legs here. And that's because as the foot rolls across from this neutral position, these muscles at the front of the leg here have to work really hard to hold that foot up in this neutral position. So every time the foot rolls across, these muscles pull that foot back into shape. And that happens between 8 and 10,000 times a day because that's how many steps the average person takes. So this is a really common condition that we see. We always talk about good supportive footwear, maybe some orthotics as well, along with a whole bunch of other treatment modalities that I'll come back to in a second. So moving further up the body, we come to the knees. As the foot rolls inwards, one of the first things that happens is that the knee rotates internally. So I'll show you that one again. From neutral, looking at the knee, this one rotates internally. So already we've created this angle at the knee joint here, which means that the knee is not functioning in its normal position. So there can be wear and tear on the joint, on the cartilages in those areas. We also get a bit of stretch on the ligaments that hold the knee together in this area here, and often a bit of cartilage damage because these cartilages get squashed on the outside. We can also think about the patellar tendon, or this tendon that sits just under the kneecap here as well, which often gets overstretched when the knee rotates internally. Further up the body, we get the hips. So as the knee rotates internally, the hips rotate as well. So this is where, again, similar to the knee, the hip joint is not sitting in the right spot. So there's wear and tear at the hip joint. But also, as the hip rotates internally, it tilts the pelvis forward as well. So this is where lower back pain can become quite common. So I guess the moral of the story is that with flat feet, that can obviously affect the foot and ankle and cause pain down here, but it also has a marked effect on the knees, or shins, knees, hips, and lower back as well. So if you are experiencing any of these aches and pains, it's probably a good idea to come and see a podiatrist. Look, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions, then please type them in the comment box below. Rachel or myself will answer those for you as soon as possible. And if you know someone who might benefit from seeing this type of video, then please share it with them or tag them in the comment box below, and hopefully we can help them out too. So that's about it for now. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.